up, guys? We're back. Ask C. Roy. We got a good question today. This question comes from Gayla, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right into this one because it's a big question, a loaded question. Discuss aging and how you combat it. When you're used to being competitive and now your body no longer allows you to do certain things, how can you stay motivated and not just say fuck it and give up? Also, how can you set realistic expectations? The first part that stuck out to me is when you said your body no longer allows you to do certain things. So that begs the question in my mind is, why can't you do these certain things? Because there's a difference between if you actually had like a procedure done or a pre-existing injury where you blew out your knee or had your knee replaced. But there's a difference between that and a lot of squats make my knees ache. Those are things that can be addressed. So if you're shying away from things for that reason, I would definitely look into that because those are things that can be fixed. There are some things that can definitely be done to help with, chronic aching joints, stuff like that. So look into that. So that kind of segues right into the next part and the next part of your question. So discuss age and how you can combat it or fight against it. The number one most important thing you can do, the best thing you can do to fight against aging is to focus on your posture and your movement quality. Static posture when you're standing, everything's nice in line, our shoulders aren't rounding, our back isn't rounded, we have a nice tall posture, everything's aligned, everything's healthy. Movement patterns, your fundamental movement patterns, you're squatting, you're hinging, you're pushing and you're pulling, and your ability to, plank and brace your core. So these fundamental movement patterns along with that posture, restoring these things to the best you can is going to be huge for fighting the clock. When your posture is out of whack or your movement patterns are unbalanced and out of whack, there's going to be a lot of compensation occurring. So when all this compensation is occurring, it's a breeding ground for injury. And we all know the older you are, the harder it is to A, recover from injury, and B, the more serious injuries become. Fighting against the clock, staying away from injury is number one. And we're going to do that by restoring posture, restoring our movement patterns. We want to make them as best we can. I understand though, obviously the older we are, for 60, 70 years old, whatever we may be, it's very hard to reprogram the brain and restore those things. You're probably not going to get them back to 100%. You can still improve and make some big strides to help fight against that and drastically lower your risk of injury. Number two, we have to train smart. What does that mean? The older we get, the harder it is for our bodies to recover. So the days of going into the gym and absolutely just hammering yourself into the floor are over. It doesn't make sense to. And I say that because, say for example, you're 65 years old, you've been training and working out for, 40 years. Your body has taken 40 years to get into the mold that body is in. At 65 years of age, no matter how hard you work out, you're not gonna change that body structure all that much. So, going super hard is there's no room for it. It makes no sense. All you're looking to do basically is kind of just maintenance work. Keep your body healthy at that point. If you're trying to lose weight or whatever it may be, you do that through your nutrition. Yes, you can up your cardio, things of that nature, but at 65 years old, you're not going to be putting on 25 pounds of muscle. You're not going to be making these drastic changes to your physique at that age. So absolutely hammering yourself into the floor in the gym makes no sense. That doesn't mean you can't train hard, because you can. You can show up to the gym, you can put your best effort forward, you can have a great workout, you can work hard, but you have to be smart. No more training to failure. Training to failure fries your central nervous system, and the older you get, the longer it takes for that nervous system to come back and recover. You don't want to have a hard workout and then not be able to work out for 7 days. Also, I touched on it before, your nutrition. We have to recover. Like I said, it's harder for your body to recover the older you get. So recovery is super important. We have to put a lot of time and attention into our recovery practices. Your nutrition has got to be on point. Water, you have to stay hydrated. That is super important. We also have to make sure we're getting good, restful sleep. At least shoot for 7 hours a night, man. 7 good, restful, quality hours of sleep. Then also, if you have the financial means, you can get massage and, actual manual hands-on work. It's huge. It'll make your body feel a lot better. Next part of your question: how do you stay motivated and not say fuck it and give up, and set realistic expectations for yourself? This is probably gonna be the hardest part of the question for me to answer. Everybody is motivated by something different. Okay, there's not one quote I can give you or a reason I can give you to help you stay motivated. I myself have never really had trouble with motivation. Yes, we all have those days where we show up, we're tired, we might have fought with our spouse the night before, got a shitty night's sleep, whatever it may be, and you'll come to the gym and you'll feel very sluggish, lackadaisical. Yes, we all have those days, but it should never be the norm, okay? If it's the norm, then you've got an issue. My best words of advice is, as you get older, your training becomes so much more important. I've heard countless stories of older people, slipping on ice and breaking their hip. So many stories of older people losing their balance, just not in a hazardous place or anything. They just straight up lost their balance because they're just not used to moving around. When you get older and you sustain a substantial injury like that, it is bad news. So that right there, just the fact that you're in there keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself strong, that right there should be motivation enough. I mean, we live in a sedentary world now. Sitting in a car, sitting at work, sitting in front of the TV. People lose their ability to move properly, and then when they're put in a situation in the real world, they easily lose their balance and they completely blow a knee or blow a hip or whatever it may be, and then they're screwed, man. So that right there, the fact that you're in there, you're working hard, you're sweating, you have the ability to be there and just work and put your best effort forward, that right there should be motivation enough. But you should never say fuck it. You should never give up. That stuff should never even cross your mind. You just have to put things in perspective. You have the ability to show up and work hard now. Imagine if that was taken away from you. God forbid, something happened, some kind of accident, and you were no longer able to do those things. Do you think that you would lack motivation then? Look at people that, due to unfortunate circumstances, have been confined to a wheelchair or confined to a bed, or even worse, have lost their life. And then you take a step back, think about that, and think about your problem is that you don't feel like working out, or you don't feel like, going to the gym, or whatever it may be. When you think about it in that light, man, you're blessed to be able to show up. That's why I never really lack motivation, man, because I know I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed to be able to show up day in and day out. You said, how can you set realistic expectations? Now this is where my own personal opinion might differ, and that's fine, that's okay. But I'm gonna give you my personal opinion when it comes to this stuff, and you can see how you feel about it and see if it applies to you. So when it comes to setting realistic expectations, or just setting goals, period, especially as it pertains to health and fitness, you can set the loftiest goal you want. Be very generous. Don't err on the side of caution and make it so easy that, it's something so simple or something so small. Don't be afraid to dream big, because the journey of working towards it is 1000% more important than actually accomplishing it itself. So for example, I set a goal for myself. This is a goal I haven't even reached yet, but this is a goal that I set for myself at the end of this year. And my goal at the end of this year was I wanted to deadlift 500 pounds, and I want to do that before the end of the year, before December 31st. I want to pull 500 from the ground. This is why, as it pertains to health and fitness, this is why this rule applies. Because if I don't pull 500 before 2017 is up, So what? It's not like I have a lot riding on it. It's not like if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose my job. If I don't do it, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. If I don't do it, something bad's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen if I don't accomplish it. But it's a big goal, man. It's a big number. It's the journey, because I'm gonna have to work so hard to get there. I'm gonna have to really pay a lot of attention to my programming. I'm gonna have to work hard day after day. And the most important part about it is it gives me a sense of accountability. It gives me something to work towards. So what if I don't reach it? I'm gonna get so much hard work done in the process. And that makes all the difference in the world, man. That's what matters, is that you're showing up and you're working hard and you have something to look forward to. If I don't get it, oh well. If I don't get it, I'm gonna be thirsty for it. I'm gonna be even more thirsty for it. I'm gonna work even harder to get it. And I'm just constantly chasing it. You always wanna be working towards something. You never wanna be satisfied. The moment you're satisfied, you're dead, man. Because you get content and you get complacent and you stop moving forward. When it comes to setting a realistic expectation or a realistic goal, dream big and then just enjoy the process of working towards it. You have the ability to work hard. I always say hard work is not a skill, it's a choice. And you have the ability to make that choice every day. But bottom line, we can't fight the clock, guys. When I'm 65, I know I'm not gonna be able to pull 500. So what? It doesn't mean that I still can't put effort into my workouts. That doesn't mean I can't do that. It doesn't mean I still can't work hard. You have to do what you're able to do and work hard at it. I hope that helps. If you found this video helpful, like it, share it, comment on it. Most of all, subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to be a healthy, jacked, badass